Hi Leo, thank you for joining me and welcome to this reading for 2018. This is the Higher Arcana reading. Sorry, that's a little bit loud. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm doing this reading with the Oracle Tarot. I think I used this for the 2017 reading. I don't remember. And then I'm going to use my tokens later to clarify. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm excited to do this reading for you guys. I'm using the entire Arcana in this reading. So that means that expect all of the cards to come through, like the death card or the devil card. They all are used in this reading, so don't freak out if something comes through. It's all about how they are placed together in what position. I did an astrology reading for January through June, and that's posted in the About section below. I also did another reading on Instagram called a horoscope spread. You guys probably know that. And then I clarified each of the horoscopes houses on Vimeo, and each video is available for rent, and that's all linked down below as well. I think I posted about this on YouTube too, because the Instagram post will not create a backlink, so we'll just do it through YouTube as well. If the post on Instagram gets 500 hearts, then I will release some, if not all, of those videos on YouTube for free. So that's the trade-off. And I think that's it for now. So why don't we take a look at what you got for January 2018, and let's get this party started. Okay, so your first card is, we have the Hanged Man. So there is a certain situation that you are in, or life circumstances that are somewhat in some way consistent. Don't expect certain things to change. Things may remain in a specific order for a time being. It's maybe not the time to move along with circumstances. Maybe certain circumstances must persist in order for life to adjust itself to, you know, everything that is a part of it. So there might be some requirement of you to have patience and tolerance. In terms of the astrology, we had that Saturn transit in the 5th house. You've been waiting for it to clear, but in 2018, even though the energy is much better without that Saturn, there's definitely certain things, like Lilith is going to be in your 7th house of partnership. That's going to create possibly some challenges with regard to partners, also open enemies. So it's still a somewhat tentative environment, although not as bad or as intense as it was in 2017. Okay, so but still there might be sacrifices that you will that will have to be made, or maybe life will be holding you in regard to something, holding you still. The crossing energy, so we're getting the bad ones out of the way first. The bad ones, right? I'm using quotes. So we have bondage, which is the card of the devil. So you have the crossing energy. So this is, for me, the Hanged Man is always about altruism, sacrifice, you know, following the right path at one's cost, allowing certain things to happen so that there is a peace. Sorry about the flashing. Once I have more cards down, I'll stop. But we have, so the Hanged Man is about kind of duty, fulfilling a circumstance or a situation, you know, kind of doing right by others, including self-sacrifice. So it's kind of more of a humble message, and definitely one with like a spiritual purpose, a spiritual path. The crossing energy of bondage or the devil is like the opposite. It's like, I'm gonna do me, I don't care about anyone else, I don't care, I'm gonna take care of my own. So you're kind of in this duality of one aspect, which is really humble and mindful of what your environment needs, or what the universe, God, needs for you. And then there's the second energy that is in some way very kind of blatantly, you know, laughs in the face of kindness. The next message is Temperance. So we have this energy in terms of your social life, your public life, in which you are mediating between different people. You're socializing a lot. There's a deep connection with others. There's an understanding between yourself and others, and kind of a mindfulness that you are expressing and managing with regard to other people's feelings. Maybe a lot of social activities in which you are connecting with a lot of different people, and you're at the center, you're at the hub of it. You're really able to kind of do a lot of different things. So maybe you're into motorcycles, and then you also do knitting, you know, so things that don't necessarily coincide as being the same type of thing. This year you could be really reaching out to do. That includes having a variety of friends from a variety of backgrounds. I think that this year is actually going to be turning out to be a bit of a year of a duality for you, where there's lots of different kinds of energies from you to draw on. They might be both on the opposite ends of the spectrum. They might be at extreme points. Below the surface is the moon. So you're searching for an answer. You're searching for something new to come through. The moon is kind of like a subtle intuitive card. It has to do with the idea that you are being guided towards a concept or idea, and something feels as though it's very, how do you say this? Something feels as though it's extremely subtle. Maybe you're not seeing things clearly for what they are. Maybe it's not time to decide yet because you're still working out this, the self-sacrifice versus selfishness, or maybe some kind of codependent behavior. And you're working this out. This is a duality as well, in which you're trying to find your center within, all these things. These things could be also happening to you, where on the one hand you have great support, and then on the other you're experiencing great selfishness in the people around you. And that can be very difficult, because then you can feel like if you say, if you say as though you don't have anybody to help, then you're kind of speaking against people who are helping you. But I think that if you're saying that, you mean about context, that in certain contexts you feel very alone and abandoned, whereas in others you have a great amount of support around you. So it's kind of balancing the help and support and how that's affecting your personal life or your spiritual life. It has to do with these subtle energies, insight, maybe gaining insight into your own character or the character of the people who are around you. The next message, we have the message of tradition. And so this is the card of Taurus. And so you are breaking away, or you have broken away from a very traditional way of doing things. You have broken away from like a nuclear family. Maybe you've started like a different type of family, or maybe your own arrangement, maybe no family at all. Maybe you just have a pet and they are special to you. And so I feel as though you've taken a divergent road for which there is not a specific answer. So sometimes, religion can be quite comforting because it provides us the answers of how to live our life. And so sometimes if we break away and break free to do our own thing, then maybe there's like more questions as to what is the appropriate way to approach life and do things. So maybe this is what you're kind of facing, this moral dilemma. What's the right thing to do, as you maybe have stepped away from traditional or culturally traditional ways of being, and you're just doing your own thing, which I commend you for, but you are needing that time to figure it out. If you do find yourself in that situation, just remember that it does take a long time and a lot of practice to figure out where you stand with things. If you're truly being independent, then you need to figure out where you align yourself, where to put your faith down, where to put your trust. The oncoming energy is the Lovers. So this is the card of Gemini, but it can also represent love coming into your life. That can be incredibly grounding. So if you find as though you've taken a tangent or a direction that is different than that which you were familiar with, this energy is bringing love into your life and a relationship of trust with someone else, someone who is providing you. Maybe some reciprocity, maybe someone from the past who you helped a lot is coming back in to claim the responsibility for the relationship. So you may be really reconnecting with someone on a very personal level, and finding a deep connection with that individual. And it's maybe providing you some kind of purpose for having broken away from things, and maybe some soundboard or some kind of mirror for the ideas that are coming through you at this time, and also your identity. So in a private space of your relationship, you and that other person could be figuring out who you are, what it means to be you, who you want to be, and how other people relate to it. And loving relationships can be very much a place of trust for that, right? So where a person that you trust can reflect opinions of how the greater society will see the different facets of who you are, you know, where you are a little naughty and where you are a little nice, and you need to figure that out. And being naughty isn't such a bad thing all the time. It's just you need to figure out where you are lax with things and where you are really focused. And I feel as though there's a great supportive energy for that, a family-like relationship. Here it's called the soulmate card, but I feel as though that's going to come on for you maybe in a couple months into the year, a few months. Let's find out more as we see more cards, but I feel as though this won't be immediate, and I think that it will grow. If you already have a partner, then the significance of that relationship will grow as the year progresses. Here is the next message. We have the message of change. So you're doing a personal change and transformation. It's a beautiful card. I mean, it really does signify that you are going through a transformative moment. It's a lucky time in your life. You're breaking away from things that held you back once before. You feel the opportunity to go a different direction. You know, nothing's holding you back. You can actually in some way let go. It says release the past here. Go in a different direction. Break away from being stuck, you know, being stuck in some kind of antiquated belief system. In your surrounding environment, you have the Fool. So you have people around you who are deeply supportive of your breakaway. And this is going to happen more and more until November, because the North Node will move into your 12th house. This is why I suggested that you watch the astrology video. I linked it down below, because for the first part of the year, you will see the transits so you can kind of understand astrologically and have a visual of what's going on. So that really helps watching that before this video, and that video is maybe 12 minutes long, so it's not very much at all. But I do feel as though there's people who are very supportive of this breakaway moment, helping you go a different direction and try something new. Your hopes and fears. We have the Tower, so that's probably everybody else's incentive against trying different things, you know? This is why a lot of people stop and they don't actually try different things, because they don't want to have negative consequences on their life, on the people around them. They don't want to change one thing and then lose a heck of a lot. This is a general fear that you're going to rock the boat too much, and it's going to cause you or people around you distress. But you're also hoping for this change. I feel as though this has just been in your bones. You've been waiting for change and transformation for so long now. I feel as though there's going to be different reasons why it's going to start in 2018, particularly Chiron in the 8th house. I talk about that in the astrology overview. And then the North Node moving into Cancer in your 12th house on November 16th, Lilith in your 7th house, all these things, Jupiter in your 5th house in November. So towards the fall, I feel as though you will have more and more reason. Starting in July and August, you will have more and more reason for this, the Hanged Man, the persistence of something, to really fall away and you'll be released. So the next, I didn't actually turn this over this year. I want to save this to be the last card. I've been doing it for all the signs. And make sure to watch for your sun, moon, and rising. With the moon, you'll find a much more spiritual reading, that will be resonant for your feelings. I find when I'm really down about stuff, I watch my moon because it's very healing and very gentle. So just watch for all your signs, but I did not turn over the card for any of the other signs, nor will I for you until the end of the reading. Next we have the Temperance card, and I'm going to clarify it with 2 cards. So we have the Magician, which is Mercury, or the creator of a lot of change and transformation. He is the alchemist, and so Temperance tends to be the act of alchemy. So these 2 cards really go well together. It means that you have the skill necessary to combine in your world to create things, to create a world that is suitable to who you are, to your needs, to the things that you are seeking in the world, and not creating through for you. The next clarifier is the Justice card. Fairness and order coming into your life, bringing things into balance. I feel as though you'll have a lot of energy to really say yes or no to situations and circumstances. You'll have a lot of personal empowerment to say, this is not going to work, I need my balance. There's this real sense of confidence that's going on in your social life, bringing balance into your life. By the way, Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius, Justice is ruled by Libra. That doesn't mean that there's only going to be those types of people around you, but maybe for you that gives you an idea of time or signs. So I feel as though, you're getting rewarded for whatever self-sacrifices you have made in the past, and there is definitely going to be forgiveness there, and forgiveness for karmic debt, things that you've not done well. Well, you've done way more good things than bad, and so this year is more about celebrating the good things rather than kind of controlling for or adjusting or learning from the bad. So your overall kind of temperament of the year is one of celebration, or not only just celebration, but more reward for the efforts that you've put out. So let's clarify the moon. We have the Empress, and so this means subtle feelings and emotions, not everything coming through to the surface right up front. I feel as though there's this kind of air of, this is my business, what is my business, any of your business? But not in a catty way, not in a, like in your face kind of way. I feel as though you just appreciate your personal space this year. I think that you recognize that without honoring your personal space, you're not going to grow. Your life's not going to grow. You're going to feel, limited within whatever it is that life has around you. And so you will feel this kind of territorial way towards your personal life and towards your personal space. You'll be territorial about your private space. And here is the second clarifier. We have the Hermit, and so the Hermit is ruling Virgo. The moon rules Pisces and Tarot. And so we have the Hermit insight, personal journey. I feel as though it's funny because your public life is popping. There's this level of you being a social butterfly this year, but it's actually really going down in your personal life, particularly I suppose in November. It's leading into this spiritual catharsis and a spiritual path that you're going to really direct your attention towards, and that comes from silent meditation, sitting and listening, feeling for yourself what the right path is, just being within your own heart. The first clarifier for the Tradition card, let's see, we have the High Priestess, insight and intuition about circumstances. I feel as though it was in your intuition that called you upon making certain changes. I feel like you broke away from an institution in the recent past, like really got away from something that was very mechanical. It didn't feel right to you, and you really broke away from that energy. The next clarifier is the sun. Your last year was very positive, even though it was difficult, and this energy of very constructive energy of the work that you've put into your life is being led into the present. So there's this real kind of feeling better about things, feeling fulfilled by life and about circumstances. So even if you're asked in a certain way to hold back or kind of give away something you have for another, you still feel as though you have energy left. So you're not being depleted in any way. The next clarifier for the lovers is the world. So I feel as though there's a requirement on you to travel in the world, or maybe move for the purpose of love. Maybe there is a love that will take you somewhere, take you out of your environment, and really change the direction of the way things are. So if you're watching this and it's the beginning of the year, it's 2017, then and you're like, how am I going to get there? There is going to be ways that you're going to get there. You need to maintain presence in the circumstances over here, and as this kind of phases in, your world's going to change. Remember, you have kind of the wild card, the Fool, coming in through your social environment, so you don't know exactly where and how that's going to manifest for you. The second clarifier for the lovers is the soulmate card, the Star. So I feel as though the soulmate card here and the soulmate card here, divine connections, the right path, spiritual path, the right direction, change and transformation, hope and change, opportunity coming into your life, and freedom. So really kind of going in a direction that is liberating you, and you're on the right path. For me, this triad here is so supportive. Like, you don't really need to do too much calculating this year, because you've already set yourself on the right path here with the sun. So I feel as though you're self-directed, and now you can just kind of play the part in your social life, and provided that you honor these two areas of your life, if you honor your private life and don't overextend yourself, and if you really make those connections as they come up for you in your social life, then you're kind of you've got the golden ticket. I mean, the world, the Star, and the lovers, like, it's, your life is opening up in the right direction. And I think that you're really waiting for someone to come in who's going to be an instrumental part of that. So congratulations, Leo. It looks really good. So these 4 positions are the quarters. I call them the quarters because there's people in South America for whom the seasons are separate, but for us in North America, we're talking about winter, spring, summer, fall, and then in South America, I guess it's summer, fall, winter, spring. I always get it confused, so I go quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, but be very liberal. First part of the year, second part of the year, third part, fourth. So you make your own kind of separation between those, and they will kind of fluctuate as well, so they're not fixed. The first part of the year, first quarter, we have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel as though monumental things have started for you already in 2017. Saturn has left your 5th house on December 20th. I can't stress how much of a liberating point that is for you. I think Saturn in the 5th house for Leo is probably one of the hardest transits for any of the signs in general, and I feel as though it's counterintuitive for Leo to have Saturn there, although sometimes the hardest thing we live through are the things that are most constructive for our well-being. So hopefully you have some positive takeaways from that, and hopefully that outcome is the Wheel of Fortune for you, leading you in exactly, this is the fallout of Saturn in Sagittarius. So if you've been feeling as though life was really drab for 2.5 years, this Saturn in Sag, the thankfulness, this is why you're getting such a beautiful reading here. So it's the consequence of hard work. Second quarter, let's have a look. We have the Judgment card. So clear decisions need to be made. you're going to be asked to, don't conflate this together. This does not mean that they're together. It's just I don't have space. So we have judgment. A hard decision is going to be made in the second quarter, but you're going to make the right decision. It's just going to be a really difficult one. It's going to, just put your money where your mouth is kind of question. So you definitely put your money where your mouth is and do what's right, and you'll know what's right. In the third quarter, Emperor. So either you take power, you take hold of power, or someone around you has some kind of direct connection with you, and you build a bond. It could be the start of a business. Again, don't conflate this with the Tower. It's just they're usually here in these positions, but this year I decided to take them up. So third quarter, expect consolidation of power, personal empowerment to come through, starting of a business, starting of a marriage. Depending on what your situation is, it's just a very empowering part of the year. In the fourth house, we have the Chariot. See total overcoming, consolidation, personal vindication over things of the past. You start really understanding how your sacrifices led you to success. And sacrifices can mean helping someone, but they can also mean such things as, saving money, limiting your social life so that you have more time to study for something and then learning something. Self-sacrifice towards any kind of person or situation or yourself that causes the long-term benefit for someone. Hopefully that's you as well. So yeah, the Chariot gives you that perspective. This is why everything happened. And if you look up here, all these cards are extremely positive. Like, you do really have those really powerful cards in these key positions. We've already went through all the challenging cards and they're already down. So I know this card is very positive. So let's just take a look what that is. So it's this personal strength card. It's actually your card, Leo. And so this is you stepping into your power, stepping into the power of a relationship that you've earned, and so from which you gain benefit now. This is you, kind of taking the throne. The fixed star Regulus is in your sign, right? So there's a reason why you guys are this way. And your natural ability is for kind of the spotlight. And, other people can be quite, how do you say? Other signs can be quite judgmental of that. And definitely humility is a great thing for Leos to practice, because that's when you're most beautiful, when you're humble in that spotlight. But it is your place. And I think from the last 2.5 years, there's been this pettiness around you that has taken away from your natural ability to give and to share. And so I feel as though you're stepping into that power. Okay, so let's just clarify a few of these points, although I do feel like this reading is already very complete and very positive. And I feel like you've already got the messages that you need. But this is all about Mars. Mars is the solar plexus, also governed by the sun. And the sun is your ruler. So this is stuff to do with your solar plexus, your chakra. That's the chakra that's often missed right below the heart chakra, because people do focus on the heart chakra a lot, or the sacral chakra, but the solar plexus is the seat of the ego. It's a really beautiful energy. It's yellow, and it rests right above on your stomach, right over your diaphragm, if you know where your diaphragm is. And so it's got this kind of energy to go, 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 and achieve and achieve and achieve. And so yes, the next message is Aries. So your kind of cousin sign, elemental dignity, association, and fire. Aries is ruled by fire. Maybe for some of you, this is a natural partnership with an Aries person, or maybe taking on, throwing yourself into a relationship and feeling very powerful about this. However, I have these tokens here. This represents Earth. So I picked this for the Fool. So I feel like maybe the person who's coming in for you is a is an earth sign, or maybe this is an Aries with an earth moon or some combination thereof, or maybe somebody's bringing money into your life, physical possessions, you know. Here is the sun here in the outset with the strength card, so really confirming that this year is about taking your power back and really empowering yourself to be you, be truly you, and not mitigated by life's consequences or circumstances. Then we also have for the first quarter, we have Virgo. So the energy of Virgo, maybe careful approach to things, you know, one step at a time, or maybe at the time of Virgo, this whole change will really kind of come in, which is August until September. So it might take a few months for you to gain more grounding in the situation and feel empowered to make certain changes. The next, this is a token for Capricorn. I picked it for the Judgment. So we have both earth signs here in Earth. So I think that you need to be looking to your financial matters to really understand. Your financial houses have an emphasis in shared resources. So if you look at the astrology video, I'll explain that. But definitely in 2018, it's more about the resources you share with others versus the resources that you hold on your own. Next we have the Emperor, and so we have, sorry about that, okay, so we have the message of Cancer. So maybe, I know it's kind of different timing, kind of backwards, but we have the sign of Cancer. So again, this is referencing to either Cancer people or the time when the sun is in Cancer, which would be June through July. And the outset energy for the Chariot in the fourth quarter is, so we have friendship, and whatever it is, whether it means friendship or whether it means love through friendship, I think that it provides that level of stability. I don't think that there's too much in the way of a direct competition to your stability in life, to your self-fulfillment, to moving forward towards healthful relationships. I feel as though 2018 may not be the most fireworks kind of year, although you'll have your moments of fireworks and wonderful, beautiful energy. There will be, overall, it's steady movement forward, a year in which you want to draw out of the limelight a little bit and settle into kind of your new skin and your new opportunities through that, although I think that you won't have a problem in your social life either. So it sounds like a really wonderful year, Leo. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm super excited to have been able to read it for you. I think it just turned out really wonderful. So check out my astrology reading, check out the clarifier readings for the horoscope spread on Instagram. I did those on Vimeo. All those available on below in links, or maybe through YouTube. I'm not sure where they'll go, but all that is clarified in the about section. But yeah, thanks you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful year. Happy New Year again, and best of luck, Leo. Take care. Bye.